We're going to sit here and eat sour Skittles till people start showing up. That was fast. Somebody was waiting. Oh, bye. Snow droplets here. Let's go. All right. Now it's a party. How you doing? How are we doing tonight? So I'm still getting set up at the moment. Let's see. There we go. Oh, that's 2. World record. How we doing tonight, guys? How we doing? That's not good. My water bottle's missing. I will put an APB out on that. I will just have to go thirsty this stream. I'll have to deal. All right. So, Snow Droplet, welcome to the stream. Glad you can finally join us. Usually Finch, the last 2 times Finch from Quotev has dropped in and joined me for a stream. So last time I pulled up this this figure here. I didn't draw this. I'm not that good. But just to use as a base model. And what we did last time, come on, there we go, is I drew the suit for Speedrunner. You know, the leader of the hooligans from the current chapters going on here. So he's got this energy core in his chest that the whole suit runs off, and then all these wires are connected to each of his muscles to help them move faster. And as we get down further and further, you see the wires get smaller and more sporadic here. So what I wanted to do is just take this template here and then just draw a bunch of the characters' costumes over it, and then we can just store them all on the same file. Cool. Yeah, no, I didn't want to start like drawing anything like just right away because, you know, just to give people time to jump in. But yeah, no, this doesn't have to have your full attention. There's, plenty of other stuff you could be doing in the background while we just chill and hang out. But I had some other options because I still haven't decided what we're gonna draw today. But I had Falcon 5, Troxler, and Frostbite. Those are just 3 ones that came to mind. But if you had any other suggestions, I'd love to hear it, and I'd be willing to draw any other character that you wanted to see their costume of. So for next couple minutes, I'm gonna chill, wait for other people to show up. If they do, great. If they don't, that's fine. But I want to give people enough time to get in here. Oh, bye. Well, Troxler, that's a good choice. Let me see. Snowdroplet, if you'll recall, when I sent you the book for World's Greatest Book Club, it had I also threw in a couple little trading cards for the book club members. I actually had, as I was writing the chapters, I had cards for Thatcher, Troxler, and Kaniza, like off to where I write up on my desk, and I have no idea where I put them. I had a Troxler card which had like his likeness of it. It might have been in the binder. Did I put it back? Was I responsible with my possessions for the first time in my life? Yeah, by the way, I have this entire binder full of characters. Like, there's so many cards in here. I would love to show you them all, but, like, I don't know how to do that on camera. And also, like, there's a lot of spoilers in here. Yeah. Yeah, please don't ask how expensive this was to print all these out. Oh, there we go. Found it. So if you want to look there, that's not going to show up great on camera at all, but I have the card. So I'll have that off to the side to give me a little basis to draw off of, and I can get started. That's awesome. Thank you. Da, da, da. Let's see here. It's been a bit. Are we? That's too thick. All right. So, fun fact about Troxler, if you can believe it or not, I didn't actually plan for him to have a sword ever. Like, I literally decided to give him a sword like the day I wrote the chapter, because I was sitting there and I thought he has like no way to attack at all. Like, all he's got is like the adaptive camouflage. So like, how does a man even like how does a villain even fight like that? I mean, like, sure, it could give him like martial arts and he could have done like punches and kicks and stuff. But like, I don't know. But then the sword, perfect idea. That was the best on the fly idea I've ever had. That really brings his whole character together. I got a lot of stuff like that actually, cuz I say this all the time, but I've been like planning a lot of these characters and stories for multiple years in many cases, sometimes even decades. But I always surprise myself because Dexter, the little cyborg cat, he didn't exist until I got to that chapter as well. Like, he didn't exist at all. Like, I came up with him for the book. Like, he was not a pre-established character. Yeah, right? Like like I had to like take a step back cuz like as I said, like writing action scenes is always a bit troubling cuz that's always more of like a visual thing, so it's hard to do that, just in writing form. And then this guy punched him and then he kicked this guy and then that guy punched him again. Like when you're watching like John Wick or some kind of action movie, like it's all happening on screen and it doesn't need to be spelled out for you. But when you need to spell it out, it's hard to like make that interesting or keep, you know, that going like that. Um, so I'll take like a step back and see like, okay, how would I plan out this fight? And then from there, I was just like, oh, that would be cool if they with that double up there, how they work together. And she just makes him a new blade and he catches it in his bare hands and just snaps it right back into place. Hey, let's see here. Come on. One there. There. That one there. Oh, we're still in the circle. Exactly. Exactly. I have to have like whole like mental battles in my head to just make sure that it all makes sense on paper before writing any of it out. That looks rough. This is actually turning out like a lot nicer than I was expecting it to. At least so far. Oh, okay. So I probably never. I don't see how this would have came up. I didn't mention at all in the book where they got their names from because I mean quite clearly they're very odd names. Thatcher, Troxler, Kaniza. Are you aware of any of those or what they mean? Because it's actually quite interesting how they all play into their powers that way then. Oh, that's right. He's got the how do I draw that? Okay. Okay, he's got that high collared like collar, I guess. Right. So the team is called the Illusionaries. And each one of them is actually based off of an optical illusion. And I can actually pull some of them up here. We'll collaborate here. So Troxler himself comes from the Troxler effect. Which is like, you might have seen some of these before. It's where like if you focus on, and it does not want to click on anything. Streaming issues. But there, so like as you would stare at the center vision to the side, he'll disappear just like the colors will. And then the is a bit of a freaky one. But it's this thing where if you view it from upside down, it looks normal. But then if you flip the faces over, you'll see that the eyes and the mouth are still right side up. So like, oh look, normal mouth, normal eyes. But then like you tilt and look and you're like, oh my god, that's a hideous monster. Or yeah, here's the better example. See, like the mouth looks normal, the eyes look normal, and then they flip the pictures right side up, and it's like, ugh, what is this? Oh yeah, this is the example they like to use a lot. Is this one where it looks really normal and then it flips back over and it's an inhuman monster. So that's where Thatcher's comes from, and I took a little liberty in the meaning there. So he has the ability to invert gravity to make everything go upside down, which is a bit of a slant. Yeah. And then Kaniza one makes like the most sense. I don't know. Troxler makes a lot of sense. The Kaniza triangle is like this one, where you see the triangle in the middle, like that one, but it doesn't actually exist. It's like made up out of the negative space from like the three Pac-Mans making the angles, and then the three, like angles there forming the kind of sides of it. So it only exists in that it doesn't exist. And that's how Kaniza's powers work, is that she forms like that negative space and then turns that into something. Like you find the something in the nothing. I always like when I do these streams, I always like to like give little behind the scenes knowledge information and that. So that's where all those characters come from and where they get their power. Um, so yeah, just little information like that I like sharing. So let's actually jump back to the drawing here. Enough wasting time. There we go. I've explained this before. How I'm streaming my drawing pad to my computer to YouTube is very complicated and probably the dumbest way possible. But you know, it's literally, quite literally, the only one that works. Damn, that goes hard. Okay. Okay. is the opening. Aha. Found you. Oh my. This is actually turning out a lot better than I had hoped. Still going here. There we go. This one, that bit. Ah, gosh dang it. Keep tracing over the actual template instead of the frame I'm supposed to be drawing on. It is Troxler. Glad you could join us, Finch. Oh, this is going to be really hard because now I've ruined the template, so now it's got super thick outlines everywhere except for where I need them to be. Yeah, this is actually turning out a lot better than I thought it was. So I believe, let me just double check here. We should have all the outlines done, and now it is time to color it in. Which I'm now realizing he's mostly white. But we need them red eyes. Oh, of course they do. It happens. Okay, now we got some green going on. Green elbows. Got a big blue one in the middle of his chest. Got some oranges on the side. And big yellow kneecaps. Let's see how ah yeah, you gotta be careful doing this. I made these lines really thin. Oh, this one's gonna be terrible. Nope. Come on now. Nope. Keep doing that. All right. And now the big reveal. Oh, there he is. There he is. That goes hard. That goes so unbelievably hard. There he is. That's him. Let me do a little. There. A little red in the O. Ah, that looks so nice. I'm so unbelievably proud of that. That's so good. That's his spitting image right there. Now we gotta give him a sword. Ugh, I hate drawing people holding things. Yeah, give it the name some character. There. We will agree to call that a handle. That's right, Snow. That's right. Nope, that is not the fill tool. Oh goodness, what have I done? Thank you, Finch. Out of all the ones I've done so far, and that being one other one, this is probably the best that I've done on stream. Real. All right, now. Nope, come on. Stop doing that. All right, we'll call that a handle for now. And I will touch it up later if I remember. So he had like this long, not long, this clasp here that would hold the blade together. And then you would have a switch or button or whatever. That's probably not a great place to put that because you'll hit that accidentally. But I didn't physically design the weapon before I put it in his hands in the book. So we'll just put it right there. And then the original sword, not the Keniza one. It was kind of, how did it, kind of had like a bend to it so it could fold up and collapse. Yeah, something like that. So you don't hit it by accident. That is way too short. What am I doing? No wonder he couldn't cut anybody with that. It's like 6 inches long. The glorified dagger. No wonder you lost the fight, dingus. Look at you. Small knives, it's my only weakness. That's a little bit more like it. Here, I'll make it a little bit longer on this end. This is going to look wild because it's not all one straight line. There we go. And there we have it. We have our Troxler. That was a good pick. That was a good pick for tonight. Oh, I spied with my little eye a mistake I made. There we go. There. Now it's art. There we have it. Finch. Oh, goodness. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for the 5 big boons. Okay. That looks so good. I amaze myself for drawing that freehand without, like, that's not freehand. I traced over a template that I didn't draw. Why am I lying? But you know what I mean? For like not putting excruciating amount of details into the drawing, that's pretty good, and it looks pretty close. It looks really close to the actual image. And that's not cheating. I made the rules. Shut up. 10 seconds of oh, man, that is so cool. So we got our. Oh my god. See, I said this last time. Like, eventually, we're just gonna have like so many characters overlapping over each other. It's just gonna look like one giant mess. Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine Troxler with the speedrunner suit? So Troxler being able to move and react at that speed while also turning invisible and with a sword. Crazy. Crazy. Absolutely insane. That's a scary man. I'm scared of him more than either two separately. Trox Runner. I'm gonna have to call him Trox Runner because Speedler is not something. Trox Runner. He is kind of he's dripped out. I'm saying, like, that's a sick jumpsuit. It's such a cool suit. Oh, that's awesome. That is right cool. All right, now that we are finished with the drawing, we are finished with the drawing. Next time, we still have Falcon 5 and Frostbite on here from when I was brainstorming. But there's literally dozens of characters throughout all the books that we can do. Horror status? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's the new Blumhouse movie. Do it real. Don't blink. Don't look away from him. All right. So before we call it a night and wrap up the stream, I usually stream till 6, so we got a little bit of time left. I'm open to any Q&A if there's anything you want to know about any of the characters, any of the story going on right now. Anything you want, I'm open up for it while I touch up the image lightly for these last few minutes. Oh, I just shrunk the pen. I didn't mean to do that. I just turned it yellow. I didn't mean to do that. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, Dexter did not exist until I wrote the chapter. Pretty much everyone else. Was there anyone else? Yeah, Dexter's the little cyborg cat guy from the first book. Was there anyone else I didn't have before I started writing? No. No, yeah. Yeah. Dexter's the only one in that book that didn't exist prior to the book being written. Everyone else I had like planned out for at least years in advance. It would be like I made the like extended universe book on my page just so I can like play with that. Like, oh, here's a little short story, a couple pages, just as like writing exercises to like get my brain flowing. Like, take a break from writing this chapter and just try out something new. Just do that. And like I just got so like wrapped up in like the actual books that I didn't need to do that anymore. But like I had a little something planned out for a couple stories on there, and yeah, Dexter's backstory was one of it. Yeah, I don't even recall how that came to me. Like I knew I wanted to do like a Switchbod chapter, and I was like, I need like a villain to like throw in there and like amp up the tension of the scene. And I'm that he I'm trying to explain the story of how I came up with it. I just look on the screen and it looks like Troxler's wearing a bra. That's a bad angle. That's a bad. Don't crop it like that. You gotta have the whole guy on screen, otherwise it doesn't work. God, that took me off guard so much because it was just zoomed into this. It just took me so off guard. Oh goodness. Okay. Um, what was I talking about? I got so the Dexter. That's right. Um, yeah. So he can like switch. So Switchbot's whole thing is that he can like switch bodies with like any living thing or whatever. And so I was like, how do you come up with a bad guy for that? Like who? Like what would be his beef? Like at all, if anything? Because he's more of like what Mystique is. Like he's more like a espionage spy kind of guy. So how would he even have a villain? But I'm like, what if he like screwed someone over through the power, and now they're not even human anymore? So thus the cat. So okay, cat's not a threat. So yeah, I got it. Oh, cat. Oh, brilliant. How has no one else ever thought of this before? Cat villain. Clearly, brilliant idea. But no, so like yeah, it's a cat, not threatening, right? So anything. And he wouldn't switch it into the body of anything dangerous, right? Like where would he come across like a gorilla or a lion? So it can't be like any actual threatening animal. So it's like, okay, cat, how do I make cat better? And then cybernetics. So it's a cyborg. So the muscles are amped up to like a stronger point. You have like a knife attached to the tail. Yeah, stray cat, exactly. Right, you're like reaching out, like oh, it's like I need to find like anything to switch to, and then stray cat comes along. It's so natural. Um, so then you beef it up with some robotics, you make it more humanoid, you make it kind of like the human soul inside the cat body is like artificially trying to make itself more like a human form, and then that's where Dexter came from. And then the name Dexter Mantlo of the guy, I took that Dexter uh, is actually Dexstar. There's a in DC con. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He had nothing to do with any prior thing. He was just like, "Ooh, kitty," and then he just grabbed it and switched accidentally. He didn't even mean to. And he said, "Oh, God dang it, happened again. Every single time. I got a bad switch bot. No pet the kitty." But the Dexter part of his name comes from Dexstar, which is a Red Lantern from DC Comics, and it's just a cat. It's literally just a cat. It's got the lantern ring on the end of its tail. And I think that influence is why Dexter, in my head, has a lot of like red armor. Like the cybernetics is like a deep red and black, is because of that. And then his last name, Mantlo. I forget what the guy's name was. Mantlo was the last name of the guy who created Rocket Raccoon, like another kind of cybernetically enhanced animal character. And then I just borrowed those two names, and then that's where the name Dexter Mantlo came from. I do that a lot, shockingly, is that like I'll just like draw like, oh, this was kind of inspired by this, so I'll take so what was that guy's name, and then that guy, this part of that guy's name will be his name. Yeah. So pretty cool. I'll do a lot of that. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, are we okay? If if we're talking every superhero that exists canonically, it will be here forever. Our so what it, Gallico? Yeah, Gallico will be up there. Gallico will be up there. Is Gallico one of? Hold on, I have not shown this to anybody, and I probably never will. You probably can't read this at this distance, but I have this whole. I'm holding it out here so none of you can see it. I have a whole cork board full of notes and plans for future like books and plot lines and stuff. Like I'm methodical here. I wrote down somewhere. Ah, here it is. Yes, so I made a list of the canonical like 5 strongest heroes like in the universe, and Gallico does make the list. I'm not gonna say what rank he's at, but he is in the top 5. And as far as my knowledge, and I mean I have the best knowledge. I did write the books. The other 4 have not made an appearance yet. Great. Love that you can't see it. Love that you can't see it. There's too much information on that board. Like I haven't even like my best friend, the guy that Chris is based off of, he hasn't even seen that. I will not let him look at that because there's just too much information and plans on that board. What is Troxler's name? I forgot. I put it on the database. Why am I unfortunately I don't have any special story of where that came from. Tommy Roy means literally nothing. Tommy Roy. That doesn't even begin to look like a T. There you go. Your internet. Oh. That's an L. You hate to see it. Oh, great. Epic. No L. No L necessary. Oh God, what was his name? Please don't make me look at the thing. Please don't make me look at the thing. What was Speedrunner's name? Was his name also Roy? I swear. From MD. You're gonna have to use full words because I'm so bad with like abbreviations of like shows. Murder Drone. I don't know what that is, but I'll take your word for it. MD. He's a doctor. Let me look that up real quick. I'll validate you. Don't worry. He looked like what? The drones. Oh yeah, I can kind of see that. Yeah. Damn, these things look like evil Astrobot. That's probably where the murder come from. They look like Astrobot. Where's the link in the database again? Link to the database. Oh, where did I put that? Dude, I just. No, it wasn't the first. I would just add it to your bookmarks because that's what I did because I did not want to just go through my Google Docs trying to find everything because I have so many Google Docs like in progress right now. Or 7 back on board. Hooligans is what they are. Shipping out. It was at the end of a chapter. Where did it go? Oh, wait. No, that was my announcement for Renegades being up. Oh, it was at the end of Apologies. Yeah, it was at the end of Apologies. That's true. Oh yeah, I put it at the end of the Chris and Lloyd book as well. So like last chapter of the Chris and Lloyd, and then Apologies and Whip Hand and Valor. That's where it's at. Wish there was an easier way to just like distribute all this. Should we make a Discord? Should we make a Chris and Lloyd Discord? Y'all want that? What was his name? Speedrunner. Troy Weller. Oh my god. I was like, is it Roy? I think it's Roy. And if so, I'm gonna be really mad if I just drew two guys both named Roy back to back accidentally. Yeah, Chris and Lloyd Discord. I could do that. I'm drawing on the wrong thing. There we go. Troy Weller. He is the Weller man, if you will. Which is weird because I don't name any of my characters Roy. Like, this is the first Roy. Yeah, I'll run a check through. Like, I have all the names in a color note. Let me look real quick how many Roys I have in my entire universe. Scrolling, scrolling. That's a Leroy. He doesn't count. Roy, Tommy Roy, Troy, Royce. So I have one guy with a last name Roy and one guy with a first name Roy. That's literally, I've used the name Roy twice, and I was this close to it being both times right here. The Roy gang and a runner gang, of course. It's not Roy, it's Troy. Next. Oh. Why you give me the devil emoji? Because you know I can't just draw over the template that I have. I would have to actually draw that from scratch. Ugh. You knew that. You knew it. That looks so good. His head shape weird, but that still looked good. That looks sweet. Yeah, I know you know how hard it is. I don't draw fish. I don't know how to do that. Never drawn a evil merman before. No, of course he is. He's based off of Ripjaws and the Bone Sharks. Like, those are two like complicated structured beings or something. I don't know what I'm getting at. So just so we got a head start on next week, are there any other suggestions? Human suggestions that we can add to the list here? Yeah, he's the bottom of the sea guy. The sea demon, if you will. Draw Dexter. He's not a human. I want to get a lot of like the costume designs, like on paper. Yeah, I noticed. I want to get a lot of the costume designs on paper because, like if I can give like a more accurate visual representation of them, rather than just running a vague description through AI and then just calling it good, whatever it happens to give me, something closer to what I was imagining. But like if I can, get the visuals more out there like this. Because like looking at this now, like looking at Troxler right there, it's much easier to imagine him in the course of the book, right? Oh, just give me a description. I know everybody in my book. Hangman's good. Hangman is good. That's a good one. What? What you got, Finch? Ooh. 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 Oh, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Let's see. Did I thought I might have made a Black Rabbit drawing, but I guess not. No, I probably made the I didn't draw Frostbite, not yet. He's on the list of possible next times. So Frostbite, Falcon 5 and Hangman are all on the maybe next time. Yeah. Ice cream. What does that mean? Oh, cause Frostbite or what? I don't know. I have terrible emoji literacy. People will just like send me tiny pictures of things and I'll be like, what information am I meant to extrapolate from this? Is ice cream a soup? It is a frozen soup. Technically. It's not. Not at all. No. My friend read the chapter where they were arguing about that, and he's like, "A milkshake is a soup," and I'm like, "Shut up! No, it's not." He's like, "If you, well, I mean, it follows that you're no." I made that up intentionally to get people aggravated about that. That's why I think those are so funny. The fact that Chris and Lloyd will just like start arguments for no reason but to like entertain themselves and have something to talk about for the next 20 odd minutes. I love that. It's just so funny. You can't put soup in a cone. I know that. It will disintegrate the cone. I guarantee you. I used to work at an ice cream shop and we had like sugar cones, like the little like the pointy ones, and they're like that thick. They're like that thick. And people are like, "Can I get like triple scoop on a sugar?" No, you can't. You cannot get a triple scoop on a sugar cone because the laws of physics and gravity will not pertain you to do so. Still do. Yeah. Was it a Baskin Robbins by chance? Because that's where I worked at. A comically thick cone, that would be a waffle cone. Local place? Okay. I worked at a Baskin Robbins and it was terrible because it was run by people who did not care about the store whatsoever. Because they owned the place next door and then the Baskin Robbins went out of business and they were just like, "Oh hey, let me cop that." So they bought the place next door and they ran like both businesses, but they obviously cared about the first business and didn't care about Baskin Robbins. Uh, it was terrible. I was there for 2 years. I don't know how I didn't just leave a lot earlier than that. It was a horrible, horrible place to work. And then And then when I did quit, when I did quit, within 5 months, they lost the Baskin Robbins name. Like they lost the brand. Baskin Robbins is like, hey, your store's no longer profitable. We're pulling out. And then they changed it to something called Duh Flavors, which no one's ever heard of. And they have like no business now. I was the I was the only thing keeping that place alive. Might have something to do with that I was the only person there who spoke English because they refused to hire people who spoke English. But that's besides the point. Duh Flavors, correct. No, it's capital D apostrophe flavors. Like they're trying to be cool about it. It's the flavors. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? I'm always tempted because I know for a fact it's still the same horrible people that run that place. I'm always tempted to like contact Baskin Robbins HQ because it's in like a little like strip mall, so it's like a bunch of buildings all connected to each other, and they have like one of those, like they have like the big sign out front that has like every single store in the strip mall all in one place, and they still got the sign for Baskin Robbins. So I'm always tempted to be just like, hey, excuse me, do you guys know that this Duff Flavors place is using your sign and your advertising to gain business? But that's none of my business. I don't carry that kind of hatred in my heart to go out of my way to just do that, to be an ass. But part of me does think it would be really funny to do that. And to clarify, these were horrible people. Okay, I was the best person working there for months on end. Oh, they would recognize me, and then they'd be like, "What do you get out?" And I'm like, "Okay." They are horrible people. They are horrible people. Um, I was the best person working there, and customers would always come up to the manager when she bothered to show up. By the way, they would always come up to the manager and just be like, "He is so great. Like he's so attentive and like he's so polite and nice and kind. He's always smiling. And he's great. He's great. Perfect service all around. I'm always happy when he's serving whatever." And for my thanks, I did not get a raise nor a bonus. I got a $20 Visa gift card that had already been spent. By the time the gift card got to me in my hand, the money was gone. So I had to, I had to come back in, and I'm just like, there's nothing on this. There's nothing on this. Like I looked up the balance. It said it was spent on like some like novelty gift online store or whatever, and they're just like, what, that's weird. And then they just gave me $20. I'm like, thanks. Oh, but maybe that's not their fault, you say. Okay, worst example. I'm just going on a rant on how horrible this Baskin Robin was. Y'all did this to me. Y'all brought up ice cream. I gotta air this out. This is the most disgusting thing. I should have quit after this. I should have like reported this to the police. I swear to God, I, I should have reported to somebody. Um, I went to go fill up the caramel sauce container, like the little squirt bottle, right? I went to go get the giant bucket of the caramel sauce, and there was like a rubber band and like cling wrap over it, right? And I look inside, and there's like ants like drowned in the caramel. There's like dead ants all in the caramel. Disgusting. So I bring it over to my manager and I show her and I say, "Hey, there's a bunch of dead ants in the caramel." And you want to know what she tells me? You want to know what this woman told me? She cranes her neck, looks down in it, sees the dead ants in the caramel, and she goes, just pick them out. Just pick them out. She wanted me to pick the dead bugs out of the caramel and then still serve that to the customers. Disgusting. Disgusting. That is like 15 violations. Your existence is a violation, woman. So as soon as she like left, I just I threw the whole thing away. I was like, I'm not serving this to people. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You're just like in a Baskin Robbins and you're just enjoying your like pralines and cream or whatever, and you like get a big spoon and you're like, wait a minute, that's not a chocolate sprinkle, because somebody didn't pick it. Exactly, exactly. It is. It is. There's dead bugs in the caramel. That's absolutely a liability. That's the nonsense. It's nonsense. And that wasn't even why I quit. I had to quit because it was so clear that they didn't like respect anything. I was spamming the emoji. I see that. Um, they had like this. What was he? He had to been like 7 or 8. Their son. I don't know why. Finch, that is disgusting. Hell nah. Excuse me, there are 2 throwing up emojis right above that comment, so not even you believe that. How dare you? um, but like I don't know why this kid was not in school. Exactly. Yeah, you go like smaller places like that where it's like like family owned or like locally owned or something. That means like there's someone with like like stakes in the place, right? Like these people, it was a secondary like money sort like income revenue. They didn't like really care. They did not care. Anyways, they left their like 8-year-old son with me alone at the place, and I had to like I had to babysit him and do my job at the same time. And bro comes up to me with like chocolate ice cream all over his hands. And like he's like again, he's like 7, 8, 9. So like old enough to have a brain, right? He comes up to me and he says, watch this. And he just goes and then just like smears the whole chocolate ice cream down my shirt. And I'm just like, hell nah. And I quit the next day. Finch, we're not feeding people bugs. How dare you? One more crack like that and you're on timeout. If they want protein, they can get the peanut butter one. There's protein in that. How dare you? Exactly. Watch yourself. Do your homework. I'm joking. Finch wants to feed people bugs. Who are you? The American government? Oh, lie. I'm joking. I just realized that I just hit a dab. I haven't done that since like 2016. What is wrong with me? I think the Scour Skittles are getting in my head. That's true. Chat, don't clip that. Well, would you look at that? I stayed on an extra half an hour talking about my horrible Baskin Robbins job. It is well past the time to wrap up the stream. Thank you so much for joining. We'll have plenty to do next week, plenty more stories to tell, plenty more Chris and Lloyd facts and Chris and Lloyd characters to cover. I hope you're all excited for the chapter tomorrow. Dropping tonight at midnight. Glad you got to be here this week too. No offense, Finch, but 2 people in the chat is better than 1. I'm just saying, it's glad to have both of you here. It's great time all around. Best stream so far. Y'all be so excited for the next one. Next chapter, it's going to be a banger. And then chapter after that, I'm trying to decide, do I make the chapter after that extra long? Do I make it 6 pages? Do I wrap up the whole Hooligans saga? Do I wrap that up in the chapter after this one? Do I wrap it up? Do I do one big mega chapter? Ominous. That's not ominous. That's not ominous. What's there to be ominous about? Do you want more content than usual, or do you want me to cut it up into 2 chapters? Exactly. There you go. Lucky. Yes, mega chapter. Ugh, more work on me. That's fine. That's fine. I can do that. I can do a mega chapter. Hype me up. I can do it. Mega chapter. 5.5 pages minimum. 5 minimum. I'm going to shoot for 6, but 5.5 minimum. I'm going to wrap up the whole thing next chapter. Maybe. I might do another little after the fact. Guys, that was crazy. Little ending chapter. I don't know. I might combine all of them. Time for healthy dose of motor. Exactly. Correct. Let's get it. Yes. Let's do it. All right. Mega chapter. We got 1 more chapter in, and then mega chapter right after that. We're going to get everything. Mega chapter. Hell yeah. All right. It's happening. Mega chapter. It's going to be more than 5.5 pages. It's going to be a big one. It's going to have a whole lot in it. We're going to wrap this all up. Frankly, I'm kind of tired of just writing nonstop fight scenes on top of trucks every week. We got to get this going. So we're going to throw everything we got into the next chapter and rock this all out. I'm so excited for the next thing. It's so confusing because when I condense it all into the physical book, each adventure they go on is their own chapter, but on Quotev, everything I post is a chapter. So the next book chapter, the next thing that they do after the Hooligans thing, I am so excited. You guys are gonna be so there's gonna be so many things thrown together. It's there's gonna be 3 separate characters from across the Chris and Lloyd universe here who have never met, have never interacted beforehand, and now they're all gonna be thrown in together in the same place. That's your little sneak peek for the next part. It's gonna be Chris and Lloyd, and then 3 separate, technically 4 separate, but 3 portions of the universe coming together, and it's gonna throw you for a loop. It's gonna be real cool. I'm real excited for it. I hope y'all are too. All right, so thanks once again for stopping by. I will see you all next week. I hope y'all have a great night. You gave it away already. You do not know. You absolutely do not know. It's not gonna be Renegades, Whip Hand, and Book Club all come together. It's not that. You don't know. You have no. You screenshotted the board when I held it up, and then you said Jarvis enhance, and then you zoomed in on it, and then you saw what it was doing. That's how you know. It's not because of anything that I said. And that, yeah, now you try to pass yourself off as I knew it the whole time. Oh, so brilliant. I'm so smart. No, you just cheated. You saw my thing. You took it into like you had like screens up here and like you had like the gloves that like let you like drag and drop things and you like enhance, zoom, clarify. Exactly. You don't know. You don't know. It's gonna be great though. It's gonna be great though. You can have your guess. I'm not gonna stop you from guessing. It could be. It could be. Right-handed. Yeah. I don't know. You could be a master guesser and you have this odd feeling of what's actually going to come together here, but it's not three people that you would expect. It's not three that you would expect. And one of the three is actually two people. So it's a duo. One of them is a duo, and then two of them are two other single characters. And it's not ones you would expect. You would never put like these ones all together. You would never group them together mentally or in any way. So like this is a weird instance. Like it's interesting to see these people here. But I'm excited to get into that. I'm excited to get into it. And now my screen's locked. You love to see it. We don't need that anyway. We finished the drawing. But this needs to charge anyways. So I'll put that away. But yeah, I'm hope you guys are excited for the next event in Whip Hand and Valor. I'm super excited to get into writing it. It's going to be a lot less action and more like sleuthing and deduction and more Chris and Lloyd will have to rely on their brains rather than their fists and their powers. Kid with his robot, the guy who sees his ghost head, and who else? Well, considering that you're wrong on both parts, it's neither of those ones. It's not Dimitri and Meccano, and it's not Hellraven and his dad. It's not them. It's not them. Different duo. Different two single other guys. Good guesses though. Those were good guesses. But you know, I'm not gonna tell you who it is. I'll tell you that it's not those two ones that you guessed. I'll tell you it's not them, but I'm not gonna tell you who's all in this. But it's gonna be exciting. One of the main reasons I wanted to do Whip Hand and Valor in the first place is because as a kid watching superheroes and reading comics and watching cartoons and that, you see all the same tropes everywhere, like you know, like this, like the same tropes, like there's the back in man, I don't want to give it. Man, I had a good example, but that would give it away because the character in there is the one that's coming in here. But like in certain media, you have certain tropes, and like the one thing I wanted to do with Whip Hand and Valor is I wanted to do like my take on all those tropes, right? And this is going to be like one of those moments where you'll have like the trope of, oh, this is the episode where they do this. Better example. In the book version, like the paperback version of Chris and Lloyd Want Superpowers, you get the extra chapter of Stopwatch on the plane, and you have like the time loop story. So you know, like every like superhero cartoon or this and that or story will have like a time loop episode, or like, oh, a Groundhog Day. I'm going through, like they did that in Supernatural, they did that in Haven, they did that in this, that, and the other thing. So then I wanted to do my take on that. How would I do a time loop story? And then so that's how I did that. And now I will get my chance to do another trope that I really like in the next event. And I'm really excited for that. And I hope you guys are really excited for that too. Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. I'm really hyped for it. This one, the Hooligans one, has been going on for a long time. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's a good part. It's a good part. Yeah. Which one was that? What the time loop chapter? That was a book exclusive. You had to buy the book off of Amazon. It takes place in between uh after the underwater chapter and before the demon slayer guy who sees his dad chapter. Guy who sees his dad. That's a lot of people actually. So you know what I mean. All right, I really should get wrapping it up. I have people trying to contact me. I will see you all next week, hopefully, if you can join us. That'd be great. We'll have to decide what we do then. Yes, and I need to get work on the mega chapter. I really do. I really do. I like to put off writing until like the back half of the week. I don't really like to write until like Tuesday. I start writing on Tuesdays really, but now I'm gonna I'm gonna have to utilize the entire week like starting now to get on that. Yeah. So get ready for tonight. Chapter drops tonight at midnight. Get ready for it. Uh, and once again, one last time, thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye bye. Bye bye. See ya.